We were also spending a lot of money staying there.
Yeah.
And we would stay in Airbnbs each time. And we started to ask ourselves questions. Okay, we're spending a lot of money here. What would this look like? Could there be a possibility that we could do this ourselves?
Hey, my name is Jenna Kutcher, and I am obsessed with all things business, marketing, numbers, and helping you to navigate both the messy and the magical seasons of this thing called life. I'm a small town mama who took a $300 camera, grew a successful photo biz, and now I work from home and run a 7-figure online business. I teach you the tried and true secrets to building a career you adore. Shy away from the real talk? No way. Money, hardship, growth, loss, and marketing are all topics we discuss here. Think of this as your one-stop shop for happy hour with a gal pal mixed with business school. Pull up a seat, make sure you're cozy, and get ready to be challenged and encouraged while you learn. This is the Goal Digger Podcast.
Hey guys, it's Jenna Kutcher. I am so excited about today's episode. This is a special featured episode. I was recently on the East Coast with my friend Hala Taha, and she asked the $1 million question, literally, how do you make money? We did an entire episode where I was breaking down all the different ways that I generate income, from doing digital courses to running this podcast to hosting on Airbnb. And we're breaking it all down in this episode. I know you're probably curious about the different revenue streams that we have and what we're generating our income from. And so I thought this episode would be super fun to air. This is from Hala's podcast, Young and Profiting, and we're airing it today on Goal Digger. Enjoy.
It's all a little overwhelming, isn't it? Help desk software, payment processing, email marketing tools, blogging platforms, SEO tools, deal management tracking. Goal Digger, take a deep breath, because you don't need more tools to get more out of your business. You just need HubSpot. Their all-in-one customer platform is a dream come true for you and for every member of your team. With best-in-class campaigns and workflows to generate more leads for marketing, category-leading pipeline management to help sales close more deals, powerful AI chatbots, and a knowledge base to help service teams scale, HubSpot is built to deliver results and revenue faster to help your business grow. So dump the disconnected tools and the chaos that comes with them. Discover what HubSpot's all-on-one platform can do to streamline your business. Visit HubSpot.com to grow better today. HubSpot.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Young and Profiting Podcast. Today, I'm interviewing my friend and entrepreneur, Jenna Kutcher, and I am just super curious to find out all the ways that she makes money. So, Jenna, welcome to Young and Profiting Podcast.
Thank you. I mean, let's talk about money, but money is such a taboo topic, especially with women. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to kind of dive off the deep end together.
Yes.
Let's do it.
So first of all, tell me, what was the first way that you started to make a lot of money? When did it all start to really come together for you?
So when I was 23, I worked in corporate America and I had a great job. But I very quickly realized that climbing the corporate ladder was just not for me. And it is an amazing option for a lot of people. It just didn't resonate with my soul. There was just this feeling of, I've got to figure something else out. So I started as a wedding photographer. Most people know my story. I bought a $300 camera on Craigslist, ended up starting a wedding photography business, taught myself everything. And within 3 years, I was earning 6 figures, which at the time was more than I had ever even dreamed of, right? In my corporate job, I was making $50,000 a year. I felt so rich. Making 6 figures felt like this amount that was impossible. And when I was growing my business, I was also experiencing burnout. And I had grown so quickly, which was such a blessing. But I also just hit this place where I was like, I can't imagine doing this for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. There's got to be a different way. And I committed to figuring out a different way through loss. And I've shared this story many times, but when my husband and I finally decided that we wanted to start a family, it didn't happen as easily for us as it does for other people. And I know a lot of people experience this, but we went through 2 miscarriages and I was planning my pregnancies around my photography business because I was shooting in the summer and I had to figure out, how is this going to work? And when I had my second loss, I had to show up and shoot a wedding the next day. And I was like, there has to be a different way. Like, I built this amazing business, but if I don't show up and shoot, I don't get paid. And there's got to be a different way. And so I committed then and there in this moment of agony of, I will figure this out. And I remember around that time, I heard this statistic. the average millionaire has 7 revenue streams. And at the time I had 1. And I was like, how do we figure this out? Like, what could this even look like? It felt so crazy. And so I started many different side hustles. Do you want to dive into them? Okay. So my first side hustle was I became a watercolor artist. Did you know this?
No.
So my mother-in-law was an elementary art teacher, and in the basement of her house, she had all of these art supplies. And in my season of burnout, I was like, I need to do something to connect back to my creativity. Like at first, my photography was my creativity, and then it became my job. So I went home with all these watercolor supplies. I started painting every day. I forced myself to sit in a chair and paint for 20 minutes a day. And I started sharing these paintings on the internet, and people were like, can I buy that?
Amazing.
And I ended up figuring out a way to scan these watercolor art prints and sell them online. And pretty soon we were paying our mortgage with the print revenue.
Your first sort of passive income revenue stream.
Totally, because that was what made me realize I could create something once and sell it a bunch of times. So it started as a joke and it turned into something where I was like, wait a minute, we're on to something. Also around that time was when I had realized after hitting 6 figures that I was happier when I was working less. And I had hit this point, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs hit this point where in the beginning, you have to trade time for money. There's really no other way around it. That is the hustle that is required. But at some point, when you start to get the money, you recognize that I will spend money to get back my time. And I'd hit that point in my photography business. And I was like, you know what? I will go back to earning $50,000 a year if I can have a life. And so I committed to booking half of the weddings that I had been shooting. And I said, I'm going to figure something else out. And so that's when I started learning about online courses. And I had scaled a business from 0 to 100K in 3 years. I knew something that a lot of people didn't. And so I started mentoring other local photographers, having them come into this little condo we lived in. And I would walk them through pricing, marketing, social media, like all the business stuff. Cause I'm like, these people are so good at their craft. They don't know how to like sell it.
Yeah.
And so I started coaching, and then I started looking into online courses. And that's where the business that people see today started to form. But it was years in the making.
I love that. It's so inspiring. So in terms of your courses, how did you first figure out how to go from one-to-one to one-to-many? Because that's really the secret. It's how do you take what you do to individuals and then make it possible that many people can take this course? Like, how did you first start to figure that world out?
You know, it's kind of funny because I don't know if I've ever drawn the parallel of making a watercolor print, scanning it, figuring out one-to-one or one-to-many.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what online education is. And it was so funny because I ended up coaching 5 local photographers, and they all had the same questions. And all of a sudden I found myself, I'm like, I am a broken record. I'm teaching them the same things. I'm showing them the same pricing guides. I'm walking through the same things. And that was when I really started to discern there are trends and questions that everybody has. And that is the type of content you want to put into an online course. And I am so grateful that I took the time to sit down with people face to face, hear their struggles, understand, well, what am I actually doing different? Because I think that so often we are so close to our own genius that we think everybody knows this.
Yeah.
Surely this is easy for everybody. And so when I started to identify these trends, I was like, oh my gosh, I can teach branding, and I can teach social media, and I can teach pricing, and I can teach email communication and all of these things. And so I created my first online course after taking an online course. So I was like, I'm going to buy an online course and figure out, okay, how did they deliver it? How was it recorded? How was it like spread out over the weeks? Yes. My secret sauce is like reverse engineering. I see an end result. As a wedding photographer, I would see the finished shot and I would think, well, how did the photographer pose these people this way? What were the cues that they gave them? What was the lighting? And I reverse engineered course creation because I was like, I can figure this out.
Yeah.
I know I can. The people that can take apart a car and figure out how to put it back together, I can't do that. But when it comes to digital stuff, I'm so good at that. And so online courses cracked my life open in such a beautiful way. But it allowed me to reach people outside of where we lived in this tiny village in Wisconsin. And it allowed me to connect with other photographers who were struggling with the same thing so that they could really focus on the art and their craft.
Yeah. So I really resonate with this because I started my first course a year ago.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't really realize that I had a course under my belt. I have a social media agency and it's very expensive to work with us. You're actually one of my social clients.
Yes.
And so it's like $10,000 a month minimum to work with us. And I'd have lots of people coming to me being like, I really want your help, but I can't afford your services. I really want your help, but I can't afford your services. And then I realized that this agency that I'm building, in order to get more clients, every time I get 3 more clients, I have to hire 5 more people. And I don't want to have like a 3,000 person organization. That's a lot of stress on me.
Yeah.
So I was like, what can I do to sort of lay it all out? And the same trainings that I give my team, the same checklists I give them, how can I take what I give my team to service my clients and then turn it into a class?
Yes.
And then I did that. And I just used everything that we already had. So the course was very fast to put together because I think a lot of people don't realize that if you have an agency, you probably have a course because whatever you're doing, you can package it up and teach other people how to do what you do to service your clients. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. The other thing with courses is that it just gives you so much content to then create an audience and attract an audience. So for example, I have like a 2-day masterclass on LinkedIn and my team literally just goes to the slides that I created and then creates posts. You know what I mean? Because they have all the content. I've written it all down.
Hey, goal diggers. Lately, I've been getting excited to finish furnishing our new home, which is why I want to tell you about a brand that we absolutely love, which is Article. I have been a fan and a customer of Article for years. I'm always blown away by the curated assortment of furniture styles they offer. They have mid-century modern, coastal, industrial, Scandinavian, and even boho designs. There is something for everyone, no matter your taste. In our last house, we had their sofa and leather chairs. At our lake house, we have their dining table and chairs. We also just ordered some of their outdoor furniture for our new patio. Like, if you can't tell, we are obsessed with Article. The quality and style are top notch. Article's online only model means that they can offer some great prices with fast and hassle-free delivery. Pick the delivery time that works for you, and they keep you updated every step of the way. Article's customer is also amazing. They're knowledgeable, friendly, and always there when you need them. If you're like me and you're itching to give your home a makeover, I highly recommend checking out Article. They believe in delightful design for every home, and thanks to their commitment to style, quality, and affordability, it's never been easier to transform your space. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/goaldigger and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/goaldigger for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Goal diggers, we all know the B2B landscape can be a bit complex. From lengthy buying cycles to complicated decision-making processes, reaching your target audience can be tough. But I found a solution tailored just for you: LinkedIn ads. A whopping 79% of B2B content marketers say LinkedIn produces the best results for paid media. That's because with LinkedIn ads, you're not just casting a wide net and hoping for the best, you're strategically building relationships and driving real results. We're talking about a platform with over 1 billion members, including 180 million senior level executives and 10 million C-level executives. You are networking with the actual decision makers. And LinkedIn's targeting and measurement tools are specifically designed for B2B marketers, meaning you're not wasting time or money on irrelevant leads. In fact, in the tech industry, LinkedIn ads have been shown to generate 2 to 5 times higher return on ad spend compared to other social media platforms. Using LinkedIn ads allows you to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to industry trends and developments, whether it's finding the perfect partner for a collaboration or uncovering new opportunities for growth. LinkedIn can be your secret weapon. Make B2B marketing everything it can be and get $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/goal to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/goal. Terms and conditions apply.
So I'd love to understand, how did you end up becoming an influencer? Because you've got like 1 million plus followers on Instagram. You're huge on Pinterest too. How did that piece come about? Was the podcast the first thing that kicked that all off?
It all grew super organically until it didn't. When I was a wedding photographer, I realized really quickly that there were 1 million wedding photographers in my area that were really talented. And the only thing that made me different was me, because we were all delivering a very similar finished product. And so even in the early days, and I mean, this is like OG Instagram we're talking here, like when we used to use those weird Valencia filters, I would just share my life. And I would just share who I was and what I was struggling with. I would share working from home with no makeup on. Like, this is the reality of it. And it was so interesting because when I first became a wedding photographer, I just hid behind my work. It was like this safe spot. I figured surely everyone only wants to see my work. And I remember years and years and years ago, polling my audience of like, what are your favorite posts? And it was all personal. And I was like, what is this? Fast forward a few years, we went to Hawaii and I wanted to do an experiment, and I love experimenting. I am like a huge experimenter. And so I said, for 30 days, I'm going to only post me. And this is at a time when I'd been hiding behind my work for years. And my engagement skyrocketed. My confidence in myself grew. My connection to my audience grew. And I was like so fascinated by it because I was like, this seems like the least interesting thing of what I'm doing. Yeah. I was just sharing my life. And it really made me realize people need to connect with people. And I never set out to be an influencer. I really wanted to just continue to grow and share. And I really have realized over the last few years, my dream is to help women build businesses they don't hate and build lives that they love. And I have been taking people on this journey, not as I have figured this all out, but like I am still learning. I am still growing. I'm still figuring this out. And so when I started doing social media collaborations and social media promotions and different things like that, it just felt so natural because I am the kind of person where I'm like, oh my God, have you tried this new lip gloss? Or like, this skin cleanser is life-changing. Like when I go on a girls' date with my girlfriends, by the end of the day, I've dropped 10 links of things that I'm just telling them about because I'm like, if this works for me, this could work for you. Like, I just love not gatekeeping, whether it's business or beauty products or whatever that is. And so that was just such an interesting facet for me to realize people care about the business, yes, but they also care about what's happening behind the business and like what's fueling it. And so that was interesting. We did have a viral moment. So I grew very organically. I felt like I knew every single follower. Like it felt that way. And we had a moment go viral, and it was a photo of me and my husband on the beach in Hawaii. And I was talking about body image. It was the funniest post because I never expected it to go viral. I think that's what happens with viral posts. And I was clapping back at someone who had said, how can a woman like you get a man like him? And my husband is very fit. He's very in shape. At the time, I was curvier. I had been going through miscarriages and lost my body, had been through so much. And I was just angry. And I was like, who are you to say this? We have been together for a decade. He has loved me through every pound, every pimple, like everything. And that post blew up. And overnight, we got hundreds of thousands of followers. And blessing and a curse, right? Double-edged sword because wow, this is amazing. But also like, who are these people and why are they here?
Yeah.
And what are they watching
That's
for?
when I first found out about you.
Yes.
Because I was starting to podcast and I was growing popularity in podcasts. And then I remember hearing about Jenna Kutcher, and your likeliness was so tied up with body image. And so like you were the body image girl that was spreading body positivity. And that's what you were known for. Was that hard to sort of get out of that box? Because now you're out of that box.
Yeah. Well, it was so confusing because I had talked about body image for years. I think it's a lifelong journey to learn how to love yourself. And I don't think it ever ends. And so the fact that one random post goes off, and then here I am running a business, teaching entrepreneurs. And now all these people are following, commenting about my body, wanting more of that content that I'm not monetizing because I didn't want to monetize it.
Yeah.
It was very confusing. And it was such a blessing and a curse because so many people resonated with the message and it connected with them and they felt seen and they felt understood. And at the same point too, as a creator, it's like, what do I do with this? And as a business owner, where do we go from here? Like, I'm not going to sell a course about body image. And so it was a really interesting time. And I think that I just did my best to like stay very true to myself, stay very grounded in the message, to be clear of like, here's what you can expect if you stick around here, because this isn't going to become this type of account. And so, it was very interesting.
I want to dig into the course thing and how it lended itself so nicely to you doing affiliates.
Yeah.
Because something that a lot of entrepreneurs don't realize is that once you figure out how to promote something well, you can then just take that and replicate it in a million different ways.
Yes.
And I was even talking about this yesterday. Me and Jenna were at the IAB upfronts. We were both very integrated into this big podcasting event for advertisers. And I was telling the advertisers, Yap Media, my network, we're all business owners. And so we understand how to promote our own products and services. And then we turn that into podcast sponsorships.
Yes.
So that's what I've been doing. You've been doing that with affiliate marketing. So I'd love for you to walk through, how do you actually promote your courses?
Yeah.
And then what is the relationship to that? And then how you started affiliate marketing?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love affiliate marketing. I'm like
I know. I don't do any of it.
Oh my gosh, people. Okay. So we do 7 figures in affiliate marketing each year, over 7 figures. If people are wondering, are you getting pennies to the dollar? Like, this can be a very lucrative thing, especially if you don't have a ton of offers that you are selling on your own. Affiliate marketing is literally just recommending someone else's product and getting a commission when people buy it. And so if you have gotten people's trust in what you are recommending with anything, and they do trust you, they will follow you wherever you lead them to in a beautiful way, right? I love affiliate marketing, whether it is skincare, whether it is jeans, whether it is another online course. I just think it's so powerful. And the reason why I love it is because I am not an expert in everything. Very clearly, I'm not an expert in all the things. And I want to recommend things and people that I love to the people that I love.
Yeah.
I am a natural connector. My greatest joy in life is connecting people that I love to each other, connecting people to products that they love. So one of the things that I've realized is I can sell my own stuff. That's wonderful. But what does it look like when I partner up with brands that I love and with people that I love and help promote their business? We recently partnered with one of my dear friends who I've literally known for almost a decade, and she's my copywriter, and she has an amazing course. And I was like, Ashlyn, let me talk about your course. Your work has changed my life, and so many people could benefit from this. And I am not a pro copywriter. And it transformed her business. It changed her launch. It made her show up differently. My audience was like there. We had thousands of people sign up for her masterclass.
Amazing.
And so it's like so fun for me because I get to support the people and brands that I love. I get a commission from what I'm selling, and I get to kind of experiment with different marketing strategies because there's less skin in the game, and I get to be more creative of like, what does this look like?
But go into the nitty gritty. Like, what are you doing? I know you're using ManyChat automations. Are you leveraging an email list? And how, like, just tell me, like, what are you doing?
Okay. You want me to give you the lay of land? Okay. So if somebody's listening to this and you have a podcast, a very natural way to do this is to have a podcast interview and to be able to tie it to somebody's
That's what
offer.
we did when we did my LinkedIn course.
Yes. And so just naturally integrating what that person is an expert in and inviting people with a call to action at the end of the podcast. If you have an email list, sending out emails about, hey, this person that I trust, this is my experience with them. This is how they've transformed things for me. This is why you should trust them or join their free masterclass. If you have Instagram, sharing about it on Instagram. So we've basically built this almost like flywheel where we could have a guest on our podcast. We could send out a couple of emails. I could do an Instagram live with them and a few Instagram posts. And that's honestly it. And they take care of the rest. And it's people that I trust that are going to serve my audience well at the highest level.
Yeah.
And then if it's the right offer for them, they'll take it.
So now you've got millions of followers. Take us back to when you didn't have millions of followers.
It wasn't that long ago.
How would you promote something then? Maybe you've got a couple thousand followers, but you're really smart. You already make money doing something really well. Maybe you have a job and you do something really well. Maybe you have a company, you do something well, but you just don't have a lot of followers. How would you then either sell courses or affiliate marketing?
Yeah. I would say 2 channels. Pinterest is huge.
Ooh,
and I love
that's a juicy
Pinterest.
one. No one talks about this.
No. Y'all, Pinterest is a search engine. It's not social media. And it's so crazy to me that people think that it is just a place to like plan your dream life, but not do anything about it. When people go onto Pinterest, they are typing in recipes with sausage, makeup looks for work, or capsule wardrobes for vacation. Like, people are typing in keywords and they're typing in stuff that you have created or work that you could create.
Yeah.
And so we get millions of views on Pinterest a month just using like the same strategies you would use for search engine optimization, just using keywords.
That's so smart because nobody's doing that.
Nobody's
it's basically a search
doing
engine,
it.
especially if we're targeting women.
Yes. And the cool thing about that is with Pinterest being a search engine, it's not a popularity contest. So unlike other social platforms, in order to get your work seen, you have to have a massive following. Because it is a search engine, if you are search engine oriented, you will be found.
Yeah.
And so if you are someone listening to this and you're like, great for you, I don't have 1 million followers or I don't have this. Pinterest is an amazing place. We use Pinterest to grow our email list. I look at marketing very distilled down. There are 2 focuses. The first primary focus is growing your email list. Why? It is an asset that you own. It is something you can control. Social media is amazing. It is rented space. You do not own it. You can't control it. You are battling multiple algorithms. Your email list is a true asset. If you are somebody listening and you want to be in business 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you have to have an email list. That is the only way. Priority number 1 in marketing is an email list. Priority number 2 is any other platform that you are using, whether it is LinkedIn, YouTube, a podcast, Instagram. All of those efforts need to be getting people off of those platforms and onto your email list. That is it. And it's so funny because we overcomplicate marketing and we're like, Instagram doesn't work. How are you using Instagram? Are you serving or are you selling? If you are selling, no wonder it doesn't work. And so your primary focus as a creator is to start your email list, and then any efforts that you have, the goal should be to get people off of whatever platform they're on and onto your list because again, you own that.
And you get them off of the platform by serving them and then retargeting them in the DMs to get them in your email list. One of the biggest regrets I have is not starting my email list until just a couple years ago. I started it. And my favorite way, I don't know if you do this, to get emails is to do webinars.
Yes.
So I do these private Zoom webinars where I'll do like LinkedIn trainings, sales trainings. I'm doing like a mental health one for entrepreneurs later this summer. And then I'll get 1,000, 2,000 people registering. Boom, I got 2,000 emails now and they opted in so I can communicate with them now. And there's so much clicks and conversions that happen in email. Like it's a lot of sales are happening on email. So I love that.
When I was starting my journey with online courses nearly a decade ago, I needed a platform that could keep up with my dreams and support my vision. And Kajabi came to the rescue. I've been a paying customer of Kajabi for years upon years. They are the only platform I use, trust, and recommend for online course creators. Kajabi is the ultimate one-stop shop that empowers you to build a thriving online business and generate predictable recurring revenue. Whether you're creating online courses, exclusive membership sites, or hosting subscription podcasts, Kajabi has got you covered. Kajabi will handle your transactions without taking a single penny of your money. That's right. You get to keep 100% of what you earn. Plus, you get powerful analytics, easy payment options, email marketing tools, and customizable website templates. The cool thing is too, you don't need a huge audience to make a sustainable income. There are thousands of creators on Kajabi making 6 and 7 figures with less than 50,000 followers. It's all about leveraging the right tools and strategies to grow your business, and Kajabi makes that possible. Right now, Kajabi is offering a free 30-day trial if you go to kajabi.com/Jenna. That's kajabi.com/Jenna. Head to kajabi.com/Jenna and join the creators and entrepreneurs who have made over $7 billion. Are you an entrepreneur or a driven business owner looking to take your business to the next level? Then you need to tune into the Boss Babe podcast hosted by my incredible friend, Natalie Ellis. Now, this is one of my favorite podcasts to tune into every single week. I do not miss an episode. Natalie shares in a way that makes these complex ideas really easy to understand. And let me tell you, her love of systems is straight up contagious. These episodes are the opposite of fluff. They are jam-packed with actionable insights and real strategies that you can start implementing right away. Every week, Natalie dives deep into the strategies and tactics that can help you build a wildly successful, profitable, and freedom-based business. So if you've ever wondered how successful women structure their businesses and their lives, or if you've been wanting to make more money while enjoying your life, this podcast is perfect for you. Natalie isn't just any host. She's an angel investor, the founder and CEO of Boss Babe, and she has an audience of over 5 million people. She has built a media brand into a household name and is now sharing her secrets with you. Subscribe to the Boss Babe podcast on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform to level up your business this year. That's the Boss Babe podcast hosted by Natalie Ellis to get everything you need to start, grow, and scale your business. Go hit subscribe right now.
Okay, so we talked about a number of your revenue streams already. We talked about your watercoloring business when you first started out. We talked about courses. We talked a little bit about podcasts and your different sponsorships and affiliate marketing. What other revenue streams do you have?
So one thing that we are super passionate about is real estate. And I love real estate. I love property. I love looking at houses online. Like, there's something about making a space a home and sharing it even that just feels so powerful to me. And years and years ago, Drew and I used to spend multiple months of the year in Maui. And it was after I had had this revelation of like, I can build a business that can run while I rest. Like, what would it look like if we spent a month on Maui? And then it turned into 2 and 3 and we started to fall in love. But we were also spending a lot of money staying there.
Yeah.
And we would stay in Airbnbs each time. And we started to like ask ourselves questions. Okay, we're spending a lot of money here. Like, what would this look like? Could there be a possibility that we could do this ourselves? And I'll never forget a trip. My parents came to visit us and there was an open house. We were walking down the beach and we're like, I don't know, let's just pop in and look. And I started to really dream bigger. And at the time, my business was not at all the size that it is today. And I remember we went through this open house. I took the little flyer and I went and sat in a coffee shop and I started doing math. And I started thinking about, okay, how much are we spending a month when we're here? How much rent could we potentially earn? What would the expenses be? What are the HOAs? What does this look like? And one thing that's super interesting about Hawaii is there's a lot of different zoning. So there's apartment zoned and there's hotel zoned. And the place that we were looking at used to be a hotel. It literally is zoned as a hotel. And I remember just thinking, this is so peculiar that this was an operating hotel and they have now created it into spaces that people could own. And I sat down in this coffee shop and started running the numbers. And I'm like, I think we could make this work. And I remember telling Drew, I am committed to eating ramen noodles for a year if we do this, because we just loved being on the island and we loved having this space. And the thought of doing it was like just so exciting. And so we ended up putting in an offer. I will never forget. We flew back to the island. So we got this place. It had been owned by this sweet, sweet old couple for years. And we had 1 week to like flip the unit and get it ready for Airbnb. And I literally thought we were going to get divorced that week because we were like painting and getting the couch in, and the couch was too big. It couldn't fit through the door, and all these like silly things that we were like, what did we get ourselves into?
Yeah.
And it's ended up being one of like the biggest blessings. We have hosted hundreds of couples over the years. We have had so many repeat guests come back to our space, and we have been able to create a community with our guests, with the team that helps us take care of our property. It's been so beautiful. We've also been able to give back so much to the community. Like, we bought a place on the island because we care about the island. And so last year alone, we donated over 30% of our profits to locals and to support them. We were able to help people in need when the devastating fire went through Lahaina. We opened up our doors. We housed locals for over 2 months in our unit, and we just took care of people. We used our network of other Airbnb hosts, and we said, like, open your doors. We will pay all of your expenses. Just get people in. And so it was amazing to see, like, yes, it is a property. And yes, it is this place where people can rent and stay, but we're also doing something a lot bigger with it. And that matters to me. Anything that I do has to have meaning.
Yeah.
And I care so deeply about the why behind our work that, like, I want to make sure that there is always facets of respect and community built into everything that we do. And so it's been beautiful. My parents were just down there and stayed, and to be able to like see our space be shared and loved by people we love, but also taken care of by people we love and enjoyed by people we love. It just feels like this trifecta of blessings upon blessings.
Yeah.
And I love property, and I love the idea of putting together a space where people are making lifelong memories. Because when we went to Hawaii, it was like a bucket list trip. It was like, someday in our lifetime, I want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And the fact that like now we get to host people on their bucket list trips, how cool is that?
I love that. I could see like the joy exuding from you. Like, it makes you so happy to host these people in your home and make your home beautiful. And something that people don't realize is that you don't necessarily need an investment property to do this. You could do this in your own home now. You can host a room in your house.
Yeah, that is something that is coming up a lot lately.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing way for people to like supplement their mortgages or to like help pay their rent. And Drew and I experienced this years ago, and I feel like these people were ahead of the curve on this. But we went on an anniversary trip and we were driving along the coast of California, and we rented a room in this bed and breakfast type house, but they owned a farm. And I was like, I want to see the alpaca. I want to check out the goats. I want to collect the eggs from the chickens. And it was a whole different life than what we were living. And I remember we like showed up and they greeted us at the door and they had a bottle of wine chilled, charcuterie boards out. And like we sat and talked to them. And we got to know about their life of living on this farm and why they were doing it. And it was such a cool experience where it opened my eyes up of like, yeah, it doesn't have to be a whole house. You don't have to buy a condo. Like you can literally do this wherever you are and start to share your space in such a meaningful way.
Love that. So something else that's really popular now is working remotely. So many people can work from anywhere now. And so I imagine that if, you explore it and it's possible, you can just put your apartment or house on Airbnb and then go work remotely to some place that you've never been. It's such like a win-win solution because it would offset any costs of you going and working from somewhere else.
Yeah. Reminds me of the movie, The Holiday. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
Oh my gosh. They like house swap. So like one person goes to LA and one person goes
have seen this.
And they like trade houses. And I'm like, that is so genius because it is true. Like a lot of people these days have a lot more freedom and flexibility to work wherever. I know during the pandemic, we moved up to our lake house in Minnesota and our neighbors there have spaces that they rent on Airbnb. And during the pandemic, we would go on walks with them every day. And they had this huge dream of living in Hawaii. That's where they had met initially. They wanted to live in Hawaii. They were able to rent out their spaces in Minnesota and now they live in Hawaii.
Amazing.
And it's like crazy because you just see that there's so much possibility there and a little bit of creativity, which I think entrepreneurs naturally have. And so it's like, maybe this is something that you haven't even considered, but like, what would it look like if you explored it?
So I am curious about starting an Airbnb. And one of my fantasies is I'm not married yet. I was in a long-term relationship begging him to do Airbnb with me, to host an Airbnb. Because to me, I feel like it's such a fun project to do with a partner. Like it just seems like the perfect business project to work on with somebody that you love because it's relatively easy. It's an investment that both of you guys will be a part of. There's like enough things for both people to do.
Yeah.
And to me, it just seems like such an awesome thing to do with your partner. So can you talk to us about doing this with your husband and what that is like?
Yeah. I got to shout out my husband, Drew, because he does most of our work with the Airbnbs and he loves it. Like he is our real estate professional in our family. He really enjoys it. And so he does the majority of it. And it is so fun because I love the decor. I love the messages. I love like making sure our guests feel cared for. I love the recommendations, like all things we've talked about in this episode. And he is very good at like the financial side and the organization and managing our cleaner and just like different things like that, where he has more of the boots on the ground mentality. And I'm more of, here's the experience. I'm going to paint this picture. And so it is so fun. And we always want to pick places that we love and enjoy ourselves. And so we love this and you will love this too, which is a theme. Have you noticed? I love telling people about business. I love telling people about the products. I love just sharing experiences with people. And so it was such a natural progression. And for us to do it together, it was our first big investment as a couple. We really had to have conversations of, can we do this? Will we do this? What does this look like? And it felt like a huge leap of faith. And it's just been one that has been this like beautiful journey for the both of us.
And I feel like it connects you guys closer because you guys are in business together.
Yeah.
You're making money together.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's such an awesome thing to do with your partner. So I love that you do that. So something else to know about Jenna is that she only does stuff that brings her joy. You only do things that you want to do. I bring Jenna opportunities all the time. She's in my podcast network where I booked sponsorships for her. And she'll be like, I don't want to do that. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out on IG Reels. Yeah. And I'm like, but it's thousands of dollars. Are you sure? And she's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm burnt out. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You can book it in 2 months or whatever. So talk to me about that. How are you able to sort of just put your foot down? A lot of people couldn't just turn down money like that.
First off, it is such a privilege to be in a position.
Yeah, it wasn't always like that.
No.
It wasn't always, you've got to sacrifice.
But I've realized, and here's what I've really realized, is if you have listened to this whole episode, you recognize the power of trust. And I want my community to trust me. And if something isn't in alignment, not only do I feel it, but they feel it. And so I have had to get so good at discerning what are the right partners, what are the right opportunities, what are the right sponsorships to take on. Is this in alignment? And I feel that way with every opportunity, whether it is getting asked to speak on stages that I would have once dreamt of being on, but now I'm saying no to, or whether it is hosting a mastermind or all these things. I could do a million things. I don't want to. And I think that I'm just at this place in my life where I just recognize peace needs to be protected. And right now in this stage of my life, my priority is my family. And anything that I'm saying yes to is a no to them and what is the most important thing to me. And so turning down things like recording another social media reel, to me, it's like, but this is more time with my kids, or this is protecting and preserving the integrity of my followers.
She'll even turn down things that are a good fit.
Totally.
She'll turn down things that are a great fit for her because she's like, no, my time with my family is more important.
Yeah. And I think that like boundaries protect what's sacred to you. And I've just had to relearn this lesson over and over and over again. Boundaries aren't bad. And boundaries keep what I say most important to me, and they exemplify that. What I am saying is most important to me is reflected in my calendar. It is reflected in my bank account, is reflected in the way I show up every single day. And so it's a muscle that you have to learn to flex, and it takes time, because I think that there was a time in my life where I got paid $50 to take pictures of a cat, and I couldn't believe it. Like, somebody is paying me to do something I love. This is amazing. And what a blessing that is. And the better that you get at listening to your gut and discerning, like, well, this is a great opportunity, but is it the right opportunity for me? It keeps you in alignment so that you are not passing up things that you should be saying yes to, and that you are not saying yes to things that you should be saying no to. Mm. And so I feel like I just have a really strong intuition and a gut game, and I don't apologize for saying no any longer, because my no is literally just a reflection of what is mattering the most to me right now.
Okay, well, this has been such an awesome conversation about all the different ways that you generate revenue. We talked about courses, affiliate marketing. We talked about you hosting a property on Airbnb, and also about your mindset. I loved learning about that because I need to have some more boundaries. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for joining us on Young and Profiting Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I'm over here giving you a virtual high five because you just finished another episode of the Goal Digger podcast. Did that go by way too fast for anyone else? If you want more, head over to goaldiggerpodcast.com for show notes and all the discount codes from today's sponsors. And if you're looking for a new crew of movers and shakers like you to bounce ideas and ask questions, be sure to join my exclusive community for Goal Diggers on Facebook. The link's waiting for you at goaldiggerpodcast.com.
Please note, this episode may contain paid endorsements and advertisements, and individuals on the show may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to in the episode. Your support through affiliate links or sponsored content helps us continue to bring you valuable content. Thank you for being a part of the Goal Digger community.
Hey, Goal Diggers. Lately, I've been getting excited to finish furnishing our new home, which is why I want to tell you about a brand that we absolutely love, which is Article. I have been a fan and a customer of Article for years. I'm always blown away by the curated assortment of furniture styles they offer. They have mid-century modern, coastal, industrial, Scandinavian, and even boho designs. There is something for everyone, no matter your taste. In our last house, we had their sofa and leather chairs. At our lake house, we have their dining table and chairs. We also just ordered some of their outdoor furniture for our new patio. Like, if you can't tell, we are obsessed with Article. The quality and style are top-notch. Article's online-only model means that they can offer some great prices with fast and hassle-free delivery. Pick the delivery time that works for you, and they keep you updated every step of the way. Article's customer is also amazing. They're knowledgeable, friendly, and always there when you need them. If you're like me and you're itching to give your home a makeover, I highly recommend checking out Article. They believe in delightful design for every home, and thanks to their commitment to style, quality, and affordability, it's never been easier to transform your space. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/goaldigger, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/goaldigger for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.